For many years, AI development has focused on making models more capable. But as AI systems become more autonomous and begin making decisions that affect people, another challenge emerges. How do we ensure these systems remain safe, accountable, and trustworthy? The answer is not simply better models. It is better governance. This is where AI governance and boundary design become essential. Governance defines who is responsible, who has authority, and how decisions should be made. Boundary design defines what AI is allowed to do, when it must ask for human approval, and where its limits should be. Together, they create AI systems that are not only intelligent, but also safe for real-world deployment. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how clear boundaries lead to better outcomes by balancing fairness, safety, security, human oversight, and accountability. Because the future of AI is not just about intelligence, it's about designing systems that people can trust. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the broader vision behind this work. It is called Chinoba. Chinoba is an open research initiative exploring how humans and AI can coordinate in the age of intelligent systems. Today's AI is no longer a single application. It is becoming a network of people, AI agents, organizations, and digital infrastructure working together in real time. This requires more than better algorithms. It requires new foundations for coordination. Our research focuses on 6 connected areas: people and AI coordinating, how humans and AI make decisions together; trust infrastructure, how trust can be built through transparency and accountability; knowledge infrastructure, how knowledge flows across organizations and intelligent systems; governance and boundaries, how authority, responsibility, and safety are clearly defined; multi-agent coordination, how multiple AI agents collaborate effectively; and ultimately, runtime society, a future where humans and AI continuously cooperate through shared rules, shared knowledge, and shared decision-making. This presentation is one part of that larger vision. It explores how governance and boundary design provide the foundation for trustworthy AI systems in the emerging runtime society. Artificial intelligence is advancing at an extraordinary pace. Every year, models become more capable. They generate content, analyze data, write software, and increasingly make decisions on our behalf. The question is no longer whether AI will become more powerful. It already is. The real question is something far more important. Who governs AI? Who decides what AI is allowed to do? Who defines its responsibilities? Who is accountable when something goes wrong? And who has the authority to override its decisions? Without clear answers, even the most advanced AI systems can become unpredictable, difficult to control, and hard to trust. As AI moves from being a simple assistant to becoming an active participant in business, healthcare, finance, and public services, governance becomes just as important as intelligence itself. Building trustworthy AI requires more than technical excellence. It requires clear governance, human oversight, accountability, safety, and trust. These are not optional features. They are the foundation of responsible AI. For decades, AI research was driven by a single objective: capability. How can we build models that are smarter, faster, and more powerful? Researchers pushed for higher accuracy, stronger reasoning abilities, greater autonomy, and continuously improving performance across every benchmark. This relentless pursuit has produced remarkable breakthroughs. Today's AI can understand language, generate code, analyze complex data, and solve problems that once required human expertise. In many tasks, AI now performs at or even beyond human level, but capability alone does not guarantee trustworthy behavior. An AI system may be highly intelligent, yet still make decisions that are inappropriate, unsafe, or inconsistent with human values. The more capable AI becomes, the greater its influence on people, organizations, and society. And that means capability can no longer be our only measure of progress. The next stage of AI is not simply about building more intelligent models. It is about ensuring that intelligence operates within clear rules, clear responsibilities, and clear boundaries. Greater capability does not automatically create greater trust. An AI system can be exceptionally intelligent, yet still produce harmful outcomes if it operates without clear constraints. Capability alone cannot guarantee safety, it cannot define responsibility, and it certainly cannot ensure control. When AI begins making recommendations, approving transactions, controlling equipment, or coordinating with other AI agents, these questions become critical. Who is responsible for the outcome? Who has the authority to intervene? How can unsafe behavior be prevented before it causes damage? Without clear answers, powerful AI can become a significant source of operational risk. This is why governance is not separate from AI development. It is an essential part of system design. A trustworthy AI system must combine intelligence with safeguards. It needs clear responsibilities, clear human authority, and mechanisms that keep the system under control, even in unexpected situations. The goal is not simply to build smarter AI. It is to build AI that remains safe, accountable, and controllable throughout its entire life cycle. Fundamental question surrounding AI has changed. For many years, we asked, what can AI do? Could it recognize images, understand language, write code, reason more effectively? Every breakthrough was measured by expanding capability. But today, AI is moving beyond being a simple tool. It is becoming an active participant in decision-making. And that changes everything. The question is no longer simply what AI is capable of. The real question is, how should AI be governed? How do we ensure its decisions are safe? Who is responsible for its actions? Who has the authority to intervene when necessary? How do we maintain accountability as AI systems become increasingly autonomous? These are no longer technical questions alone. They are questions of governance, policy, organizational design, and human responsibility. As AI becomes part of critical business processes and public services, governance becomes just as important as intelligence itself. The future of AI will not be determined solely by more powerful models. It will be determined by how well we design governance, establish clear boundaries, preserve meaningful human oversight, and build systems that people can trust. Artificial intelligence is no longer confined to research laboratories or technology companies. Today, AI is entering every sector of society. In healthcare, it supports diagnosis, medical imaging, and personalized treatment. In finance, it helps detect fraud, assess risk, and automate investment decisions. In government, it assists with public services, regulatory processes, and policy analysis. In manufacturing, AI optimizes production, predicts equipment failures, and coordinates autonomous systems. And in critical infrastructure, it helps manage transportation, energy, communications, and other essential services. As AI becomes deeply integrated into these domains, its decisions increasingly affect people's lives. A recommendation from an AI system may influence a medical diagnosis. An automated decision may approve or reject a financial transaction. An AI controller may coordinate robots in a factory or help manage public infrastructure. The impact of AI is no longer theoretical. It is becoming part of everyday operations across society. And the greater its influence, the greater our responsibility to ensure that these systems operate safely, transparently, and under appropriate human oversight. This is why governance is no longer optional. It is becoming a fundamental requirement for deploying AI in the real world. As AI becomes more capable, its impact grows far beyond individual users. Today's AI systems can influence organizations, industries, and even entire societies. A single AI model may support hospitals across multiple countries. It may process financial transactions for millions of people. It may coordinate industrial operations, assist public institutions, or help manage critical infrastructure. Its decisions no longer remain local. They can spread across interconnected systems at global scale. This means that every improvement in AI capability also increases the potential consequences of failure. An error can be replicated thousands, or even millions, of times. A biased decision can affect entire populations. A security vulnerability can propagate through connected systems in an instant. The greater the power of AI, the greater the responsibility to govern it. Because power without governance creates risk at scale. This is why modern AI systems must be designed with clear accountability, transparent decision-making, and effective human oversight from the very beginning. As AI's influence expands, governance is no longer an afterthought. It becomes the essential foundation for ensuring that powerful AI remains beneficial, reliable, and worthy of society's trust. Throughout history, every powerful technology has required governance. Road transportation depends on traffic rules. Without them, even the best vehicles would create chaos. Financial systems rely on regulations that protect markets, investors, and the broader economy. Aviation operates under rigorous safety standards, procedures, and oversight, allowing millions of people to fly safely every day. The pattern is always the same. As technology becomes more powerful, society establishes rules to ensure it can be used safely and responsibly. Artificial intelligence is no different. In fact, AI may require even stronger governance because it can make decisions, learn from data, and increasingly act with a degree of autonomy. Effective AI governance is built on 4 essential pillars: Governance, which defines authority and decision-making rules. Accountability, which makes responsibilities clear. Safety, which reduces risk and protects people. And oversight, which ensures that humans remain in control when it matters most. AI is not an exception to history. Like every transformative technology before it, its long-term success depends not only on innovation, but also on the governance that allows society to trust it. The central challenge of AI has fundamentally changed. For many years, our primary goal was to build more capable AI. We focused on improving performance, expanding knowledge, and increasing autonomy. That work has brought us to where we are today. But now, capability is no longer the biggest challenge. The real challenge is governance. How do we ensure that powerful AI is used responsibly? How do we keep it safe, transparent, and accountable? How do we maintain human control while still benefiting from AI's growing capabilities? These questions cannot be answered by larger models or better algorithms alone. They require a new layer of system design, a layer that defines responsibilities, records decisions, sets boundaries, and ensures that AI operates within clear organizational and social rules. In other words, the focus is shifting from AI capability to AI governance. The goal is no longer simply to build powerful AI. It is to ensure that powerful AI is deployed responsibly, operates transparently, and earns the trust of the people who depend on it. Because in the age of intelligent systems, powerful AI requires responsible governance. Today, many organizations are investing heavily in AI. They pursue greater capability, higher performance, more automation, and faster innovation. These are all important goals, but in many cases, something equally important is missing: a strong governance foundation. This creates what we call the governance gap. Organizations deploy increasingly powerful AI systems, yet often lack clear policies that define how those systems should be used. Roles and responsibilities remain unclear. Decision-making is difficult to trace. Oversight mechanisms are incomplete, and awareness of AI-related risks has not kept pace with technological progress. As a result, organizations may possess highly capable AI, but lack the structures needed to manage it responsibly. Closing this gap requires more than technical improvements. It requires governance by design, clear policies, defined accountability, transparency and traceability, effective human oversight, and a culture that recognizes both the opportunities and the risks of AI. Only by closing the governance gap can organizations ensure that AI is not only powerful, but also responsible, safe, and sustainable over the long term. AI is evolving at an unprecedented speed. Every few months, we see new foundation models, major breakthroughs, emerging technologies, and increasingly autonomous capabilities. Innovation is accelerating faster than ever before. Organizations, however, move at a very different pace. Policies take time to develop. Processes require review. Approvals involve multiple stakeholders. Legacy systems are difficult to replace, and organizational structures often evolve much more slowly than technology itself. This difference creates a growing gap. As AI capabilities advance rapidly, governance frameworks struggle to keep up. That gap becomes a source of risk. Without updated policies, organizations may deploy AI without clear accountability. Without appropriate processes, critical decisions may not receive adequate oversight. And without governance that evolves alongside technology, innovation can outpace an organization's ability to manage it safely. The challenge is not to slow down AI innovation. It is to accelerate governance. Organizations need governance frameworks that can adapt as quickly as AI itself. Bridging this gap is essential for reducing uncertainty, maintaining trust, and ensuring that innovation leads to long-term value rather than unintended risk. Today's AI can accomplish remarkable things. It can analyze enormous amounts of data and generate predictions about what may happen next. It can produce recommendations, identifying possible actions based on patterns it has learned. It can even create detailed plans, helping organizations design strategies, schedules, and workflows. These capabilities make AI an incredibly powerful decision support tool. But there is an important distinction. Predictions are not decisions. Recommendations are not authority. Plans are not responsibility. AI can generate options. It can estimate outcomes. It can help us think through complex problems. But it cannot determine what should ultimately be done. Choosing between competing objectives, balancing risks, considering ethics, complying with regulations, and accepting responsibility are fundamentally human and organizational decisions. This is where governance becomes essential. AI provides intelligence. Governance determines how that intelligence is used. In the end, The value of AI is not measured by the number of predictions it can make, but by how wisely people use those predictions to make responsible decisions. One of the biggest misconceptions about AI is that it makes decisions. In reality, it does not. AI has no legal authority, it has no responsibility, and it cannot be held accountable for the consequences of its actions. What AI actually produces are signals. It generates predictions based on data. It offers recommendations by identifying patterns. It provides insights and proposes possible plans. These outputs are valuable, but they are not decisions. A decision requires authority. It requires judgment. It requires balancing risks, objectives, ethics, and organizational priorities. And most importantly, it requires someone who accepts responsibility for the outcome. That responsibility belongs to humans and the organizations they represent. This distinction is fundamental to AI governance. AI generates information. Humans make decisions. AI supports. Humans approve. AI assists. Humans remain accountable. Understanding this separation is the foundation of trustworthy AI systems. When organizations clearly distinguish AI-generated signals from human decisions, they create systems that are not only more reliable, but also more transparent, accountable, and worthy of trust. To govern AI effectively, we must first understand a fundamental distinction: signals, decisions, and actions. These are not the same thing. A signal is information. It tells us what may be happening. A prediction, an alert, a recommendation, or an insight generated from data. Signals help us understand the world, but they do not determine what should happen next. A decision comes after the signal. A decision is a conscious judgment. It considers context, values, risks, business objectives, legal requirements, and ethical principles. Most importantly, a decision requires someone who accepts responsibility for the outcome. Finally comes action. Action is the execution of that decision in the real world. It may launch a process, send a command, approve a transaction, or implement a policy. Actions create real consequences. Many AI failures occur because these three concepts are confused. Organizations mistakenly treat AI-generated signals as if they were final decisions, allowing systems to act without sufficient human judgment. A trustworthy AI system keeps these layers separate. AI generates signals. Humans or authorized governance mechanisms make decisions, and only then are actions executed. Understanding this distinction is the foundation of responsible AI governance, and it leads to safer systems, clearer accountability, and better outcomes. This distinction becomes much clearer when we look at a real-world example. Imagine an AI system assisting a doctor. The AI analyzes medical images, laboratory results, and patient records. After processing all of that information, it reports, "I estimate an 85% probability that is a prediction." It is valuable information, but it is not a decision. The doctor then considers many additional factors: the patient's medical history, current condition, possible side effects, personal preferences, clinical guidelines, and the risks of different treatment options. Only after weighing all of these factors does the doctor decide, "We will treat." That is the decision. And with that decision comes responsibility and accountability for the patient's care. This simple example illustrates the proper relationship between AI and humans. AI estimates. Humans decide. AI provides evidence. Humans exercise judgment. The same principle applies far beyond healthcare. Whether in finance, manufacturing, government, or any other domain, AI should support human decision-making, not replace it. Responsible AI begins by recognizing that predictions belong to AI, while decisions remain the responsibility of people. If AI generates signals, and humans make decisions, then an important question remains: where does governance actually happen? The answer is simple. Governance exists between the signal and the decision. When AI produces a prediction, recommendation, or insight, we should not move directly to action. Instead, there must be a governance layer. This is where organizations evaluate the broader context. They consider business objectives. They assess potential risks and impacts. They apply organizational policies, legal requirements, and ethical principles. And they ensure that every decision has clear accountability and transparency. Only after this governance process is complete should a human decision be made, and only then should that decision be translated into action. This governance layer is what keeps AI under meaningful human control. Without it, organizations risk treating AI outputs as automatic decisions that can lead to a loss of control, reduced transparency, unclear responsibility, and ultimately, a loss of trust. Responsible AI is not created by smarter algorithms alone. It is created by designing a governance process that connects AI-generated signals with accountable human decisions. That is where trustworthy AI begins. We've now reached the missing piece. Between AI-generated signals and real-world actions, there is a critical layer that many organizations still lack. I call this decision infrastructure. AI can generate predictions, recommendations, and insights. Humans execute actions in the real world, but unless there is a structured process connecting these two stages, organizations are exposed to inconsistency, uncertainty, and unnecessary risk. Decision infrastructure provides that missing connection. It defines who has the authority to decide when a decision should be made, under what rules it should be evaluated, and with what level of authority it can be approved. In other words, decision infrastructure transforms AI outputs into trusted organizational decisions. It ensures that every important decision follows the appropriate governance process before any action is taken. Without this layer, organizations often rely on ad hoc judgment, making decisions that are difficult to explain, reproduce, or audit. With decision infrastructure, decisions become consistent, transparent, and accountable. This is the bridge between intelligence and execution. Not just building smarter AI, but building organizations that can make better decisions with trust, consistency, and accountability. If decision infrastructure is the missing layer, then what exactly does it define? At its core, decision infrastructure answers four essential questions. First, who decides? Every important decision must have a clearly identified owner. Roles and responsibilities cannot be ambiguous. Someone must have the authority, and the accountability, to make the final decision. Second, when should a decision be made? Not every AI recommendation requires the same level of review. Decision infrastructure defines the timing and conditions under which human intervention, escalation, or approval is required. Third, under what rules? Every decision should follow organizational policies, regulatory requirements, business objectives, and ethical principles. Decisions should not depend on personal preference or ad hoc judgment. They should follow consistent and transparent rules. And finally, with what authority? Different decisions require different levels of authorization. Some can be made automatically. Others require managerial approval, executive oversight, or even regulatory review. Decision infrastructure clearly defines those boundaries. Together, these four elements ensure that the right decisions are made by the right people, at the right time, under the right rules, with the right authority. That is how organizations transform AI-generated signals into trustworthy, accountable decisions, and ultimately, into responsible action. Powerful AI without governance is not simply incomplete, it is dangerous. Without governance, AI becomes unpredictable. Its behavior may vary from one situation to another, making outcomes difficult to anticipate or explain. Even if the model performs well most of the time, organizations cannot reliably predict how it will respond in every context. Without governance, AI also becomes unaccountable. When something goes wrong, who is responsible? Who approved the decision? Why was that action taken? Without clear traceability and defined ownership, these questions often have no clear answers. And finally, AI becomes uncontrollable. Without boundaries, escalation mechanisms, or human intervention points, organizations lose the ability to stop, limit, or correct AI behavior before it causes harm. This is why governance is not an optional feature added after deployment. It is a core part of the system itself. Governance provides the boundaries that guide AI behavior. It establishes accountability for every important decision, and it ensures that humans remain in control when it matters most. With governance, powerful AI becomes predictable, responsible, and trustworthy. Without governance, even the most advanced AI can become a source of uncertainty and risk. The future of AI depends not only on building more capable systems, but on governing them wisely. Governance alone is not enough. Organizations also need clear boundary design. Boundary design defines where the responsibilities of AI end and where human responsibility begins. When those boundaries are clear, accountability becomes clear as well. Humans remain responsible for setting goals and defining values. They make decisions. They accept accountability for outcomes, and they provide judgment and oversight whenever AI reaches its limits. AI, on the other hand, has a very different role. It generates signals, predictions, and recommendations. It processes large amounts of information. It executes tasks within predefined constraints, and it provides explanations and traceable records of its outputs. Notice that AI supports the process. It does not own the responsibility. Between these two domains lies a clear boundary. That boundary creates transparency. It builds trust. It makes accountability possible, and it prevents confusion about who is responsible for what. When boundaries are unclear, responsibility becomes blurred. People assume AI made the decision. Others assume a human approved it. No one is fully accountable. But when boundary design is implemented correctly, responsibilities become explicit. Organizations gain clearer accountability, stronger trust, lower risk, and ultimately, better outcomes. In the age of AI, good systems are not defined only by what AI can do. They are defined by how clearly responsibilities are shared between humans and AI. Powerful AI alone is not enough. Every AI system needs boundaries. Boundaries are what transform powerful technology into technology that people can trust. They define where AI can operate independently, where human involvement is required, and where AI must stop. Effective boundary design considers several important dimensions. First is uncertainty. If an AI system is less certain about its output, stronger human review and stricter controls are needed. Second is impact. The greater the potential consequences of a decision, the stronger the governance should be. Third is novelty. When AI encounters situations it has never seen before, human judgment becomes even more important. Fourth is context. The same recommendation may be appropriate in one environment but unacceptable in another. Context determines which boundaries apply. Fifth is human override. People must always retain the ability to review, override, or stop AI when necessary. Sixth is execution. Even a good decision must be carried out in a controlled and accountable way to prevent misuse or unintended harm. And finally, there is ethics. Every AI system should operate in a way that aligns with human values, organizational principles, and societal expectations. These boundaries are not barriers to innovation. They are what make innovation sustainable. They turn uncertainty into controlled action, enabling AI systems that are safe, reliable, scalable, and worthy of human trust. One of the most practical ways to implement AI governance is through what I call the human gate. The principle is simple. AI proposes, humans approve. AI analyzes data, identifies patterns, and generates recommendations. It can do this quickly, consistently, and at scale. But before any recommendation becomes real-world action, it passes through the human gate. This is the point where responsibility is exercised. Human reviewers examine the proposal within its business context. They evaluate risks, consider organizational values and regulatory requirements, and then decide whether to approve, modify, or reject the recommendation. Only after that human judgment is applied does the action move forward. This process ensures that every important action is accountable, traceable, and aligned with organizational objectives. The human gate is not about slowing AI down. It is about ensuring that AI's speed is matched by human judgment. AI brings intelligence. Humans bring responsibility. Together, they create decisions that are both efficient and trustworthy. The human gate prevents unintended consequences, preserves human accountability, aligns AI with ethical and organizational values, and ultimately builds trust in AI systems. Because in responsible AI, AI proposes, but humans remain responsible for the final decision. So, what does a truly governable AI system look like? It is a system designed not only for intelligence, but also for trust. A governable system has 5 essential characteristics. First, visibility. Organizations must be able to see what is happening across the entire AI system in real time. They need clear insight into system behavior, performance, key metrics, and emerging risks. Second, traceability. Every important decision should be traceable back to its origin. Organizations need end-to-end logging, decision provenance, data lineage, and audit trails so they can understand not only what happened, but why it happened. Third, accountability. Every decision must have a clearly identified owner, roles, responsibilities, and the reasoning behind important decisions should be explicit and documented. Fourth, controllability. AI systems must remain under human control. Policies, operational boundaries, human override mechanisms, and risk controls ensure that organizations can guide AI behavior whenever necessary. And finally, adaptability. AI operates in a changing world. Regulations evolve. Business requirements change. New risks emerge. A governable system must continuously learn, incorporate feedback, update policies, and adapt to new environments. These 5 capabilities work together to create AI systems that are not only powerful, but also reliable, transparent, and accountable. Because governance is not about slowing AI down, it is about enabling AI to operate safely, effectively, and in alignment with human values. That is what makes an AI system truly governable. When people hear the term AI governance, they sometimes assume it means restricting innovation, but that is a misunderstanding. AI governance is not about limiting AI. It is about making AI trustworthy. Trustworthy AI is built on 5 essential principles. The first is transparency. AI decisions should be visible, understandable, and explainable, so people know how important conclusions were reached. The second is fairness. AI must treat people consistently and without unjustified bias, ensuring that decisions are equitable across different individuals and groups. The third is safety. AI should protect people from harm, reduce operational risk, and behave reliably even in unexpected situations. The fourth is human-centered design. Humans must remain in control. AI should support human judgment, not replace it, always aligning with human values and organizational objectives. And finally, accountability. Every significant AI-assisted decision must have a clearly identifiable owner who accepts responsibility for the outcome. These principles do not slow innovation. They make innovation sustainable. When people trust AI, they are willing to use it. When organizations trust AI, they can deploy it with confidence. And when society trusts AI, it creates lasting value for everyone. That is the true purpose of AI governance. Not to limit intelligence, but to ensure that intelligence is responsible, reliable, and worthy of trust. The future of AI is not defined by AI alone. More powerful models will continue to emerge. They will become faster, smarter, and more capable. But capability alone is not enough. Real value comes from the infrastructure that surrounds AI. First, AI creates new possibilities. It generates intelligence, insights, and recommendations. Next comes decision infrastructure. This is the missing layer that structures decision making. It defines who decides, when decisions are made, how they are evaluated, and under what rules they are carried out. On that foundation, we build governance. Governance provides accountability, transparency, human oversight, and clear boundaries. And together, decision infrastructure and governance create the foundation for something every organization needs. Trust. Trust enables people to rely on AI. Trust enables organizations to adopt AI at scale. And trust transforms technological capability into lasting business value. This is the direction we believe AI must take, from intelligence, to decision infrastructure, to governance, and ultimately, to trust. And this is only the beginning. Let's look at where this journey leads next. And this is the vision behind Chinoba. We believe the future of AI is not just about building more intelligent models. It is about building the systems that allow humans and AI to coordinate, collaborate, and make better decisions together. That is why our research focuses on runtime society and coordination systems. From decision infrastructure, to governance, to trust, to multi-agent coordination, we are exploring the foundations of a society where AI is not only intelligent, but also accountable, transparent, and aligned with human values. If these ideas resonate with you, we invite you to explore our research, publications, and open source projects at chinoba.org. Together, we can build AI systems that people can truly trust. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.